Good morning and welcome to Daf Yomi Maseches Taanit Daf Gimel Gimel Amud Aleph Gimel Amud Beis. Uh, it's a pleasure to continue doing this Daf Yomi share, but it's not such a pleasure because I don't have my main man, my right hand, my left hand man, my right hand man, whatever you want to call it, Shmuel Silver. He went to Yerushalayim today. He left me hanging. I know the audience really looks forward to seeing Shmuel. Hopefully tomorrow we'll get him back. Till then, you just have me. That's it. So you're stuck. I'm joking. Okay, let's start on the top of Gimel and Aleph. The Gemara says, uh, the third line, Tanya Rav Nasan Omer, Bakodesh Hasek Nesech Sheikh Ala Hashem. The Gemara digresses to discuss another Makor for Nisach HaMayim, not just Nisach HaYayin on Sukkot. It says the word Hasek Nasech Sheikh Ala Hashem. B'Sheni Suchin Akasa Medaber. The Torah is talking about two different libations, two different pourings of something on the Mizbeach. Echa Nisach HaMayim, Echa Nisach HaYayin. Must be referring to one pouring wine and one pouring water. Maybe say Hasech Nasech, referring to the double libation of wine. You pour double the amount of wine they normally pour. Imkin lichto kra or hasech or nasach. It should use the same word twice. My hasech nasach. Why did it change words? Shmas mina chad demaya v'chad techam. Teach you that one of the libations is of water. Elahad is not nisach hamayim kol shiva. We have a mishnah, Masechah Sukkah, that all 7 days is nisach hamayim. Mani, who is the author of that mishnah? The Gemara assumes at this point that when you start being maskir, mashir ruach Geshem, that is dependent on when you start doing Nisach HaMayim. Only according to Belezer, it says it depends on Netilas Lulav, so you start from the first day. According to the other opinions, it depends on Nisach HaMayim. So who is it going to be? Rabbi Yoshua, Ne'ema Chad Yoma. If it's Rabbi Yoshua is the opinion who said on Shmini Atzeres, he starts saying it. At Musaf. Not Musaf, at Shachris. Ne'ema Chad Yoma, say one day, the eighth day, the Shmini Atzeres. Rabbi Akiva, Trey Yomi. According to Rabbi Akiva, it will be 2 days. He says you start doing Nisach HaMayim on the sixth day of Sukkot. So the sixth and seventh day, Shmini Atzeres normally is a regular with Neatza. We wouldn't assume you're doing Nisach HaMayim on Shmini Atzeres unless explicitly someone said so, like Rabbi Yeshua. Rabbi Yehuda Seira, Shisa Yomi. According to Seira, he says you do Nisach HaMayim starting on the second day. So you have the second through the seventh day. That's 6 days, not 7 days. The Olam Rehuda Meseira. The Gemara answers it's Rabbi Yehuda Meseira. Sirle Rabbi Yehuda the Masnisin. He holds like Rabbi Yehuda in our Mishnah, the Mishnah in Sukkah. It's not Rabbi Yehuda Omer Velug Hemenaseh Kol Shmona. He's holding on that Tana and so other Tana in Sukkah. And he says that you do Nisach HaMayim all 8 days. He also argues the amount instead of Shlosha Lug, he says 1 Lug. But the point is, he says all 8 days. Ma'apik Rishon Mayel Shmini. He holds partially like Rabbi Yehuda. He holds that you'll do it also on the 8th day, but not the first day. So you'll end up with 7 days. Why the first day you don't do it? According to Masera, it starts referencing Nisach HaMayim in the Torah. It says Mem Yud Mem on the second day of Sukkot. So the Gemara asks, according to the Shmini Nami Kiramizi Maya B'Shvi Hu Deramizi. It ends off Mem Yud Mem. The last Mem is on the 7th day. So if you're going with the Ramazim, you're going with the hints in the Torah, you should end only through the second through the 7th day. So how could he say till the 8th day also? Ella Rav Yeshua he must be at the Mishnah and Sukkot Rav Yeshua he. Like the Gemara falls off, its original assumption that they're connected. Really, there's no connection between Nisach HaMayim and when you start saying Masha Baruch Amar Geshem. Really, Masha Baruch Amar Geshem. Rav Yeshua says you start saying at Shachris on Shmini Atzeres, but there's no connection. It's Halacha Moshe Messina. You start Nisach HaMayim already on the first day of Sukkot. The Amar Rabbi Ami, Amar Rabbi Yochanan Bishum, Rabbi Nechunya Ish Bakas based Horson. The name of Nechunya from this place based Horson. Esther Natios Arava means Chamayim Alachal Mishamisin. Esher Natilas, like we mentioned before, is when you have 10 young saplings in a certain amount of land, you're allowed to plow it 30 days. No, normally you're supposed to be Mosif Michal Akodesh 30 days before Shvius, so you're also not allowed to plow a field. Tosefes Shvius, if you have young saplings in a certain amount of land, you're allowed to. Arava, it's talking about carrying around the Arava in the Beis Hamikdash all 7 days. When Yisrael Chamayim, pouring the wine, the water libation on Sukkot, Sinai, those are derived from tradition. They have nothing to do with Mem, Yud, Mem. It's derived from tradition, and therefore it applies all 7 days. Nothing to do with Masha Ruach, Hamar Tegesher. Huda Omer, Yishum Rav Yeshua, Over the Tnei Teva, Yom Tov Achron Shal Chag, Achron Masker, Rishon in Masker, Yom Tov Rishon Shal Pesach, Rishon Masker, Achron in Masker. This is the last sheet of the Mishnah. Quotes the name of Rabbi Yeshua. Rabbi Yehuda quotes it in the name of Rabbi Yeshua. Hi, Rabbi Yeshua. Which Rabbi Yeshua is this? He named Rabbi Yeshua the Masnisin. Rabbi Yeshua, the first opinion, our Mishnah, or the second opinion. Ha'amar b'yom tov achron shel masker. He says the last day of masker, seemingly the first tefillah on the last day, Shachris, on Shmini Atzeres, not Musaf. Elder Rabbi Yeshua the Brisa. If it's Rabbi Yeshua the Brisa, Amar Mishas Hanachasa. Rabbi Yeshua says you start the Brisa says you start saying Mashiach Baruch Mergeshem. When the time you put down your lulav, you put down your lulav at the end of the 7th day. Therefore, even Mariv on Shmini Atzeres, you should start not Musaf. Vesu, had the sign Yehuda Omer Mishum Ben Beseira. Yehuda says the name Ben Beseira. Over the Teva Yom Tov Achron Shachag. Achron Maskir. Hi Ben Beseira. He says the name of Ben Beseira, another cryptic teaching that again on Davin's Musaf should start saying Mashiach Geshem. Hi Ben Beseira. Which Ben Beseira are we talking about? The name of Rabbi Yehuda Ben Beseira, Amar B'Sheni V'Chag. We quoted him in the Brisa. He says explicitly he starts saying Mashiach Geshem. On the 2nd day of Sukkot, not on Shmini Atzeres. Amar Rav Nachman or Yitzchak Tehei Rabbi Yeshua ben Meseira. There's two ben Meseiras, Rehuda ben Meseira, and there's someone called Rabbi Yeshua ben Meseira. Rehuda was quoting Rabbi Yeshua ben Meseira. So the Gemara says, Zimnin the Karile b'Shmei, Zimnin the Karile b'Shmei the Abba. Hama Kamid l'smechu, v'hala Basar de l'smechu. Really, we answer both questions with this. There's someone called Yeshua ben Meseira. So Yehuda was quoting Yeshua ben Meseira. He's the one who says, he starts saying Mashiach Baruch Mergesha and Musaf on Shmini Atzeres. And that was also the one that Yehuda was quoting the Mishnah. He's quoting Rabbi Yeshua, not Rabbi Yeshua ben Hanania, who was the second opinion of the Mishnah. Yeshua ben Meseira, who has a different opinion, who says you started Musaf on Shmini Atzeres. He was called just Ben Meseira before he got smicha in the name of his father. Once he got smicha, he became an important person. They even called him by his name. Right? They call me Ben Yehuda, Ben Yehuda Street. My father's name is Yehuda. Before I got smicha, I was called Ben Yehuda. I used to go to Ben Yehuda Street before I became from. Then once I became from, then they called me Ben Sion Ben Yehuda. I became Ben Sion. I'm no longer going on Ben Yehuda Street. All right. According to the person that contended that one of the Israelis contended that I was Mashiach, so I'd be Mashiach ben David. My father would have to be a Gilgal of David HaMelech. So actually, the police came to my mother-in-law's house where I lived last night. They're looking for someone ben David. It's a family ben David, not living with my mother-in-law, but someone Telstone. But I guess, it's funny that they came Ben David. I'm really Ben Yehuda. Was Yehuda possibly David? I don't know. Yehuda, the son of Yaakov, was David on Melech? Could it be? Could it possibly be Yosef Shaul? Yosef was Shaul and Yehuda was David on Melech? Could it be? Brothers? Possible? Hard to say. All right. Anyway, let's go on. Yes, I'm implying that what I'm saying is correct. It sounds a little strange. It sounds like I have a couple of thousand years mixed up together, but If you do the right calculations, you'll see that maybe that the Nevi'im is just an explanation. It's telling you the parts of the Torah Shebechtav, parts of Sefer Bereshis that we're missing from a different perspective. A lot of Nevi'im and Ksuvim just relate parts of Sefer Bereshis that were not clear from a different perspective. This is the Iyun Ben Siyum for today. It's a very deep Iyun Ben Siyum for today, and it really calls into question how many years has been the world around for. Um, we say it's 5,780. So take off, if we say that David HaMelech was Yehuda, the son of Yaakov, that means that we're taking Bereshit and we're making it into the beginning of the Beis HaMikdash, Shlomo HaMelech, Yehuda's son, uh, would have been the end of Sefer Bereshit. So Sefer Bereshit would have been 30 years ago. Malchi Sedek, Melech Shalem. Who is Malchi Sedek? Kohen Lekel Elyon. Was he Shimshon? Is it possible? Malchi Sedek was Shimshon. Shimshon? All right. There's a lot to discuss here. Obviously that Boaz could have been Yitzchak. Yitzchak Avinu. Is it possible? And Rus, Rivka, you mean? Hard to say these things. All right. That's Even been seeing today. Tell me what you think about that. Crazy stuff. I'm telling you crazy stuff, but there is truth to it. And I have to investigate this together. But there's a lot of deep stuff going on here. All right. Umar says, Tana, Betal Varuchos Lo Chivu Chacham Lahaskir. Chamim never forced you to say anything about, we say Masha Varuch Umar Geshem. You don't really have to mention anything about Ruach. And you don't have to mention anything about Tal. Lo Chivu Chacham Lahaskir. The Chacham didn't necessitate you to mention them. Ibal Lahaskir and Maskir, if you want to, it's optional, you could. My time. Amar Bicharil, if you say Netzarin. The Ruchos and the Tal happen year round. They never stop. The Tal Minol and Lomatzer. How do you know? Tal never takes a break, never stops. The Chsiv Ayomer Eliyahu Tishbi Mitoshve Gilad. Eliyahu the Tishbi from Gilad. Alacha. He says Achav. Chai Hashem L'Chei Yisrael Asher Mati L'Fanav Yimiyah Hashem Ha'ila Tal Matar. He threatens him, if you don't listen to me, there'll be no Tal Matar. Akim L'Fi Dvarai. Only based on when Hashem says there's going to be V'chsiv Leichareh Alacha V'etna Matar Al Pnei Adama. When the curse was over, and he said that rain is going to fall on the land. V'ilu Tal Lo Kamarle. He didn't say now there's going to be resume. Tal is going to resume. My time. Well, why didn't he tell him Tal is going to resume? Mishum Delo Me'atzer. It never actually stopped. There was always Tal, even during the curse. V'chim Achad Lo Me'atzer Eliyahu Ishtabui Lamale. Why would he swear that there's going to be no Tal if there was always going to be Tal? He was threatening that rain wouldn't come, and Tal of Bracha. Tal is Tal that's not Shal Bracha, that's not going to benefit the crops, and there's Tal of Bracha that did stop. Lahadra la Tal de Bracha. Why does it say only Eliyahu restored the matter, the rain? He should have restored Tal de Bracha. Mishum Dlo Minkra Milsa. In fact, it was restored, but he didn't mention it because it's not recognizable that it stopped. Tal the bracha, you can't tell it falls at night. No one recognizes this. So to say that it's coming back, you would say, oh, it never really stopped, even though it really did. El ruchos minalan lamatri. How do you know winds never stop? Amar Yeshua ben Levi, Amar Kra, ki ka'arba ruchos hashemayim harashti eschem nom Hashem. Hashem says to the Jewish people, I am going to separate you like the four winds of the world. My Kamar. What is Hashem saying to Klal Yisrael? I'm going to spread you out in the four corners of the earth. She said in the four, not kill like the four. Just like the world is impossible to exist without constant wind, That's what Hashem says. I'm going to spread you. Even when I punish you, you're still going to exist like the ruchos, like arba ruchos, like the ruchos that always exist. Amar mifnina hilkach mimosachama. Amar meishav ruach imach zero. So even in the summertime, if you say mashiv ruach, whatever that means, either Hashem will take away the wind or blow the wind. Here it seems to mean that Hashem will blow the wind. Imach zero. So it's not a problem. Because it's always during the summer. I'm remember the Geshem Machzino. So he said it mentions rain. It's a wrong time mentioning rain. Rain is only in the winter. Then Machzino. So we must have Shamim. Lo Amar Meishav Ruach Ein Machzino. So if it's the winter time, if he doesn't say Mashiv Ruach, not Machzino. So even though that's normally the time, seemingly for winds. Lo Amar Morid Geshem Machzino. So we have to say Morid Geshem during the winter. Below, the Lafil Amar Mavir Ruach Mafriach Hatal Ein Machzino. So even if Hashem removes wind and disperses the tal, meaning they don't exist, because it's not true. Hashem doesn't do that. There's always tal and there's always ruach. Additionally, Chum never require you to say something about winds and clouds. If you want to mention them, you can write time. Again, clouds, winds we mentioned before also don't stop. Also, clouds don't stop. Is it true that clouds don't stop? Hashem promises that He'll hold back from the Shemayim clouds and winds. Maybe it really means rain. It says previously Hashem will stop the rain. So you see rain is mentioned. Must be. I'll stop the Shemayim means from the Av and the Ruchos, from the clouds and the winds. Kasha Ruchos, Kasha Av. We just said before, the Hashem never stops them. And now the pasuk says, "Asar Shemayim." We're saying it refers to clouds and winds. So when it says Av lo Kasha, Haba Charfi, Haba Afli. The early clouds, right, that come before the rain, so that Hashem doesn't stop. The late clouds, though, those do awfully. Those sometimes that happen after the rain, which are good for the world. That sometimes Hashem does stop those. There's always at least before the rain. Ruchos aruchos lo kasha. Habaruch matzuya, habaruch she'ena matzuya. A regular wind always exists. A ruach she'ena matzuya, a very strong wind, doesn't always exist. Ruach she'ena matzuya chazia lebei dari. How could Hashem stop that strong wind? We need it in order to sift the wheat from the chaff. When I said Efshar ben Avas, you could use sieves, it'll take a little longer to use sieves, so you don't necessarily need a Ruach She'ena Matsuya. Tana, Ha'avim Rucha Shnios Lamatar. Clouds and winds are, after rain, are very important. Shnios Lamatar, they're secondary to Matar, meaning after the rain, they're secondary importance, but they're very important. Hechidam, Amar Ula, V'tei Rabbi Yehuda, the Basar Mitra, when they happen after it rains. Lamemra, the Mal Yusayis, it means that's a good thing. If you have clouds and wind after it rains, Hashem will make the rain of your land dust and dirt. It's talking about wind after it rains. You see that wind after it rains is going to blow mud and dirt on the crops. It's going to ruin them. It depends whether the rain, it falls gently or it falls very harshly. If it falls very gently, so there's not going to be a lot of mud and dirt. If the rain falls very strongly, it's going to create a lot of mud and dirt. Therefore, if it rains gently, it's not going to cause the wind afterwards, not going to cause the dirt and the mud to go on the crops. But if it rains harshly, then only mala avak, and it'll cause dirt and mud to go on the crops and ruin them. Amar Rav Yehuda Zika the Basar Mitra Kimitra. A wind after rain is as good as rain itself. Eva the Basar Mitra Kimitra. Again, clouds after rain is also very good, like rain itself. Shem the Basar Mitra Kitrei Mitra. If it's sunny after it rains, that's like it rained twice. So what's bad? There's nothing any bad. If it happens at night and there's flashes of light, stars or a shooting meteor, so then it's bad. Also, if it patchy clouds, meaning you have clouds and the sun is shining through the clouds, that's also bad after rain. Amarava, Mali tilga laturi kichamisha mitri la'ara. snow falling on the mountains, on the top of the mountains, is as good as 5 rainfalls for the ground. Shneimar ki l'shelag yomar hu eretz v'geshem matar v'geshem mitros uzo. Hashem says about shelag, about snow, it's like geshem. It's one mention of rain. Matar is another mention. And geshem, a third mention. And mitros is double mention of matar. It's 5. Amarava talgal ature. All right, we'll stop here. We'll stop. Amarava. Hope you enjoyed today's shir. Hopefully Shmuel will be back tomorrow to kick off Mesechus Taanit. I wrote Taanit. Tainus. Why did I write Taanit? Not Tainus. No, everyone writes Tainus. From way of saying it, you say the toughest. What's the correct way of saying it? I'm not sure. I don't know. Probably not Tainus. Tainit, maybe. Tainith. Be the right way of saying it. Anyway, I do it to draw some attention to me, to differentiate me from other shiurim. Again, my shiur is catered for all of Klal Yisrael. It's entertaining also, with other shiurim which are maybe just geared as being informative or learning. Learning, informative, and entertaining. That's why I'm on YouTube. Only my shiur should be on YouTube. And I wrote Taanit. Get some people thinking, right? Tiny Seaboard. I say Tiny Seaboard. Say Tiny Seaboard. Tiny D-Board. Tough. Get you thinking a little bit. That's what I like. Anyway, see you tomorrow. Bye.